the energy. There's our recording message. But we are indeed dependent upon your good spirit, your good advice, and we hope tonight that we'll get lots of comments and questions from you over the course of the evening. So we've structured this very tightly. David and Mackenzie have a wonderful program for us to walk us through some of the data from 23, 24, and what we're hoping to get accomplished in this coming year. But without further ado, just let me emphasize what a special group of people you are. And among you are not only board members, but those of you who've given time and advice and wonderful financial support. Some of you have actually dedicated scholarships to loved ones. Others of you have taken on particular programs and have agreed to sponsor those. And those are wonderful aspects of our ability to operate in the Altiplano. I know you're going to hear a good bit more from David about conditions in the field, but I just want to say the good news is that the rain has come and therefore some of the sequía has been abated. And I know that with all of the people of the Altiplano, we are very grateful for that change in the weather. So without further ado, let me again say welcome. Thank you for being with us. I'm going to turn the mic over to Mackenzie and David. They have prepared an excellent program for us, and then I'll come back at the end to see if there are any further questions. So Mackenzie, it's over to you, dear.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And I just want to echo what Susie said. You are all a very special group of folks to us, and we are very privileged that you took some time out of your busy schedules. I know the weather's getting nicer and there are the desire to be outside and be doing other things. So we're grateful you took some time this evening. I just wanted to mention that we're calling it a coffee chat in a way to promote this idea that we have a conversation together. We do have a presentation prepared, but it's definitely one that we want to be interactive. So if you have any questions or comments throughout, please chime in and grab a cup of coffee if you want, whatever your drink of choice is. We will be here for about the next 30 to 45 minutes. We'll try to keep it nice and short, but as Susie mentioned, we thought it was very important to give you all an update about what is going on in the Altiplano, our plans for this year, and then also extend some wonderful invitations to you all who we consider to be in our leadership circle. So David and I are going to be passing the microphone back and forth, but again, please chime in whether you want to talk with your microphone or send us a chat. We'll be monitoring the chat, but we are very grateful you are here with us this evening. So I'll pass the microphone over to David.
Thanks, Mackenzie, and good evening, everybody. A special welcome to our friends that are here now join the meeting. And I would like to begin with a brief summary of the work that been carried out since 2005. We start promoting projects that improve the quality of life of people and promote sustainable development with projects linked to their productive activities, starting with a single community that was Chijnaya, but year after year, the work has been expanding, incorporating new communities and organization and implementing other additional programs such as health, education, and environment and climate change projects. The slide shows the geographical scope of our rural development projects through the department in Puno. At the moment, we are located, or we have projects that being implemented in 9 districts of the department of Puno, with a network of 48 communities and organizations, with which we have been working with our team on their sustainable development, facing the challenges of the present and building a more prosperous and equitable future for all our communities and organizations. In 2022 and 2023, Here in this presentation, we have some highlights. Our initiatives are strategically implemented in collaboration with local communities and organizations, addressing specific needs and challenges within each area of intervention by focusing on key areas like where we identify with the people in the communities that they can improve their livelihoods in these unserved regions of Puno. As we continue to expand our reach and impact, we remain committed to empowering rural communities and promoting inclusive growth through the Department of Puno. So now we would like to be able to present you with some relevant data about the impact that our projects have had during the last 2 years, that is from 2022 and 2023.
Thanks, David. So some of these numbers that you all are going to see, you will also probably notice that they are in this impact report that we all hope that you were able to receive by now. You should have gotten a physical copy in your mailbox. If that is not the case, please either let me know in the chat or send me an email. But it was really important for us to gather a group of some of the highlights of some of the tangible results, some of the tangible numbers that we were able to calculate because of our work. I think it's very important whenever you're doing this type of work, development projects, that you're able to measure in some way to make sure that you really are having the results and the impact that you would like. So we're going to highlight some of them that are mentioned in the impact report, but in that actual report, you'll be able to find a little bit more details. So the first program that we wanted to highlight was our rotating fund program. I think a lot of you are very familiar with this program, especially for those of you who joined us at our board meeting. It takes up a good chunk of our conversation. Essentially, this is an opportunity for communities to submit proposals to us all. And at the Chijnaya Foundation, it's a project that the community themselves has put together. It's a way that they believe that they can improve their economic situation and their overall quality of life. So we then evaluate those proposals and support them with funding. And these funds, in a sense, rotate because this project that they're presenting is a part of a bigger plan of an overall idea to continue to improve that economic situation. So some of the numbers that I thought were really wonderful to share regarding this program were the overall amount of dollars invested. So between 2022 and 2023, we were able to, in these communities, invest a little bit more than $614,000. In 2022 alone, it was a little bit more than $221,000 invested by 22 communities. And then in 2023, almost $400,000 invested by 26 communities. So I think it's always wonderful to see as an organization how we're growing. And that's something, this is a number that we hope to see improve and get even bigger this year. But it's also important to look at a little bit more than just the dollar amounts. But first, I did want to mention some of our numbers regarding the life of this program. It was a program that was started in 2007, and 43 communities have been able to accumulate, manage, and reinvest $880,000. So I think that's quite a significant amount. And again, it's a number that we know will grow throughout this year and our upcoming years as well. But again, it's not just about the money. That we are working with individuals who each have stories. And I think it's always important to come back to the amount of beneficiaries or partners that we have. And so we have our direct beneficiaries through these programs. Almost 6,000 individuals have benefited from this particular program, the rotating fund. And then we have our indirect beneficiaries as well, not only the members themselves who partake in the project, but their family members and other members of the community that we hope are inspired by these efforts to take their own initiative to improve their economic situation. So we have approximately 1,200 indirect beneficiaries. And I'm going to pass the microphone back to David, who's going to touch a little bit on our savings group. Again, I just want to remind folks, chime in as needed. Let this be a conversation, or if you have any questions to speak up. Go ahead, David.
Thanks, Mackenzie. Yes, continue with the presentation, and now is the time to talk about the saving program. Through this program, the financial education is promoted in the members of the different communities and organizations. In 2022, we have 14 saving groups. This program is important because it means not only the access to saving and to saving is access to credit too. So seeking the economic well-being of the members who are part of these saving groups. For these 2 years, we can see that is a significant increase in the number of the money that they are managing, as they show in the slides, and in the number of the people who are participating in these saving groups. In the last year, we have another 2 groups that been formed in the area. So all these people are participating in the program and demonstrating a great commitment to long-term financial planning. Our beneficiaries of the people who participate on the saving group, they use the loans provided to the program to invest in their businesses or to improve their houses, or cover some financial emergencies like in education or in health. So that means that the money contributed to improving their quality of life and strengthening their livelihoods. So our plan to this year is to continue to expand the program to the new communities and organizations that join the network in this year. We are expanding to the Amantani Island, so there are interests in the saving group program. So we are doing our better to serve with the financial needs for all the people in the communities. Yes, Diane.
Thank you.
Yes, just a quick question about the savings group. Do
Hello.
you become a member of the group, and do you receive some sort of training in what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to do it before you actually invest?
They know each other in the community. They decide to form like a small group, starting with 13 members. So if somebody who's interested to join, they receive a training. I mean, with the talks about financial education, how do they manage their money, how do they can do their savings, how they calculate the interest. Yes, we support with that technician talks about financial education.
And is there a limit on the amount they are lent by the bank? In other words, can I ask for whatever I want, or is there a limit?
It depends on every individual group. They have their own rules. So yes, it depends on the rules of each group. Sometimes they can have a loan for their business, and it depends on their own rules from the group.
And is there someone to help the group? I mean, someone outside from Chijnaya that helps the group form or solve problems or whatever? Or is it just whatever they do?
Yeah, we follow them during all the year. They have monthly meetings. So when in the time they recover the money, so we keep the data with them, working on keeping the records, so we can know where the loans are going and for what. Yes, we give this the support. Continue with them. We follow with them in the project. We work with them in the project.
David,
great, thank you.
David,
Yes, Gloria.
you might want to say that their Chijnaya staff has a dedicated person who works with the savings program.
Yes, Thank you, Gloria. Yes, we have a part of the team, Rosemary Montesinos, is a great worker. She's in charge of the saving program, and she's always with the groups, accompanying all the meetings in the 16 groups.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. So our next program that we would like to present is the scholarship program. The fundamental objective of this program is to provide to the rural youth provide opportunities to access to the higher education, considering that the Puno is one of the poverty departments of Peru. The access for the younger people who reside in the rural areas to go into a university or institute is a barrier. They're facing a barrier to this access. So through the program, we seek to empower the rural youth and contribute to their personal and professional development, as well as the progress of their community. Between all these 2 years, we having, in the total, since the scholarship program started in 2007, we have more than 652 students who receive support for their studies, and some of them start their careers or their studies with the beca, and now they are professionals, and they're working in the local institutions or in Puno or out of Puno. So there is talented younger people from the rural areas who like to become a professional and provide a better life. And our beneficiaries of the saving, from the scholarship program, they have their own organization that is named Mosorrichari. And with this organization, they implement projects in benefit of their own communities and organizations. So in that way, we involve the students or the becarios to do some kind of project in their own communities. The last year is like shown in the slide. We have some students working in anemia prevention, vocational guidance, digital marketing, first aid training, and dairy plant and pilot milk production. We've seen the positive impact of this scholarship on the lives of the beneficiaries, who have become, some of them become leaders and agents of change in their communities. And we can see this in the projects that the young people have implemented in their communities of origin.
It might be worth mentioning, in response to Diane's question, that one of our becarios, our former becarios, has been working in the savings program.
Oh, good.
Supporting Rosemary Montesinos on that as well.
Thanks.
So a kind of reciprocity going on there.
Mhm. Great.
Yeah. Our next program is the dental program. The main objective of this program is to promote the oral health and well-being of the communities that we serve. Through this program, initially, we provide dental services where the access to dental care was limited. But during the years, we have more offers of the local dentists in the area. So in the last 2 years, we focus in educational entities. There is 80 schools. So we provide them with preventive and promotional talks and on oral hygiene, as well as dental services for the students of these educational institutions. There is a lot of activities that includes evaluation and diagnosis of the dental problems has been made in the students of these schools, providing the respective treatment and including cleanings, cures, and of course the fluoridation. And we provide the education on like the proper brushing techniques, how they need to floss their teeth and other oral hygiene habits. Since the beginning of the program, well, we serve a large number of people, but in focusing in like it shows on the slide, all the treatments that have been carried out since 2013. We can see a significant improvements in the oral health of not only in our communities, in the children of these schools who learn about how they can keep a proper health of their dental. We hope to reduce the incidence of the cavities and other dental conditions through the education and the provision of the preventive services. We continue this year working with this 8 school. This is our 3rd year, so we can show in the time and impact when the children finish their primary school, that we hope that all of them have a good dental without any problem, and have a good dientes. So yes.
Great, thank you, David. So now we kind of wanted to touch on some of our plans for this year. I hope that you were able to see some of those numbers that we chose to highlight. Again, this is just a small portion of those numbers, but we really are seeing progress in all of our programming, and we want to continue to expand our work to different communities and adapt it to the situations that we see at hand. So going back to the rotating fund program and our plans for this year, we were able to evaluate several proposals at our board meeting in January. And as a board, they approved 12 different projects that have a wide variety of purposes. So I just wanted to highlight a few here. And I will mention that our full list of those 12 projects is on our website. It's also in the impact report. After this chat, I will be sure to send around a follow-up email with links as well, should you want to read a little bit more about each project. But some that you can see here, this group on the right is from the Cañón de Tinajani, which is a very beautiful place, and they're very proud of their environment, and it's a very touristic location. And so what they asked for support with was improving the dining services that they could offer these tourists. And so we're supporting them with the purchase of different materials for their comedores. So we look forward to seeing the results of that project. On the left here, it's a similar project in the sense that it's in the area of tourism. And this group is from the Isla de Amantani on beautiful Lake Titicaca. And so it is also a touristic destination. And this group wants to improve the lodging that they can provide their tourists. So some of our other projects also focus on the economic well-being of these communities. We work with a lot of artisans by purchasing potter's wheels and thermal, what we're calling baths, or having access to hot water to be able to elaborate some of these products. And we also work with a fair share of folks who work in agriculture. So they've requested fodder seeds and other items to make sure that their livestock are well cared for. So in total, with these 12 projects, we'll be supporting 230 beneficiaries this year. David did mention a bit about some of our other programming as well, but I wanted to highlight some of these tangible numbers that we hope to achieve this year. So in our scholarship program, we have approved 45 different scholarships for students that similar to the ones that David mentioned earlier, folks that are either continuing their education at a technical institute or at a university. So we were able to increase that number from 38 to 45, 38 last year to 45 this year. And I know that many of you on this call are very fond of our scholarship program. I know that many of you support a named scholarship, which is something we're very grateful for, the establishment of that in honor or memory of someone. And so we look forward to giving you updates throughout the year about those students. We'll provide you with another yearbook so you can get a snapshot at who those individuals are and what their goals and aspirations are for their educational career. As David mentioned, we will be working with those 16 communities in the savings area. So again, that grew from 14 to 16. And I just wanted to kind of piggyback on the conversation that was going on earlier regarding this, the importance of ProDIA staff in the savings group. I was able, when I visited Peru last year, to attend one of those sessions with Rosemary, and it's amazing how she has built such a wonderful rapport and relationship with the communities. But it's, in a sense, it's beautiful to see how she was able to help kind of install this structure, but it very much works on its own. She's there just kind of as a way to help them lead those meetings, and it's great to see the investment that the community members have in these savings programs. And as Susie mentioned, the Chijnaya Foundation is supporting an assistant for Rosemary, essentially because the program has grown so much. So we're excited to see how that continues. Another kind of side bar to tack on to the savings program is we're currently investigating the potential to form a cooperative with some of these groups. We understand the importance of saving. We want to ensure the longevity of these type of programs. And so that's something we're working with a local expert to determine if it's the right fit for the communities and give them the knowledge they need to be able to do so, to establish a cooperative if they would like. As for the health program, we will continue to do dental clinics in 3 different schools. And David recently informed me that ProDIA's board is growing, and one of their members is an expert in the health sector. And so I don't know if it's a he or she, but this individual is going to kind of evaluate our program and determine if there's ways that we continue to grow. I know we've worked with anemia projects in the past, and so we acknowledge there's more than just dental health that we need to focus on. So we'll continue to determine how we can meet needs in the health sector. And another project I wanted to highlight real quickly was a second phase of our Bofedales project, which are high elevation wetlands. So essentially, thanks to external funding, we were able to work with 5 different communities that are our alpaca herding communities. And they were able to come together and formulate a plan to restore and protect these wetlands that are so essential to not only their environment, but their economic well-being as well. And so we are in the process of looking for funding to continue this project. We've had such great success with our micro reservoirs to capture rainwater that other members of the community of this group want their own micro reservoir so that they can capture this rainwater and use to irrigate these bofedales. So David has been wonderful in helping apply for different grants, and we're looking to continue the second phase of this project and support these 5 communities with not only taking care of their environment again, but taking care of their livestock that they so much depend on for their livelihood. Well, that was a lot of information in a short amount of time. Again, these are just the highlights, but we wanted you all to feel very much proud of this work because it's just as much yours as it is ours. We could not do these programs and these projects without your support. And we wanted to make sure that you felt that you could own these numbers as well, and that you were very aware of how transparent we want to be with the work that we're doing. And so to kind of continue the work that we'll be doing throughout the year and giving you those inside looks on said work, we will be launching a summer campaign to fundraise between June 1st and July 31st. And in similar fashion to what we did last year, we're going to host a special launch event. So you all are the first to hear of this exciting event that will be held with our dear Liz Klarich. She's going to give us some information regarding her expertise on the Altiplano. It'll be a little bit, of a shift in conversation from ProDIA results, and she will give her wonderful, unique take on things. So we're looking forward to that. It will be held on May 30th at the same time as this event, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. So please mark your calendars now. We know that you all are very busy again as the weather gets nicer. I know it's harder to sit in front of a computer, but we're very grateful that you're here with us tonight. And we look forward to having this event on May 30th. I will be sure to follow up as we get closer to the event with details regarding what it will entail, as well as the link to join. So I also know we have another special invitation that Susie would like to extend. So I'll turn the microphone back to you, Susie.
Well, I hope all of you are as enticing, finding these photos of the communities and the projects as enticing as I do. So our hope is that our annual meeting in 2025 will be in Peru. And I want to reassure all of you that you are very welcome to join us, whether we're in Arequipa, where we hope to be in 2025, or Palm Springs. We always enjoy having supporters, major figures in our lexicon of wonderful supporters join us for the annual meeting, and very grateful to you when you do. But the special opportunity, of course, would be going to Arequipa the 17th and 18th of January of next year, assuming that things remain as they are today, which is making travel quite possible and easy. And after the board meeting, there will be an extension of that trip up to Puno and to Pucará, where Liz Claret, you just saw her in the slide before, she is a very distinguished archaeologist, and that's where she conducts her work. And she will, of course, be with us at that meeting at that time. So there'll be an extension of folks going up to actually meet some of the folks in the communities, meet some of the leadership there. And of course, the entire ProDia team will be with us in Arequipa on that day. So I want to put that date before you. I think it's would be a wonderful opportunity to see what's going on in the field. I know many of you have spent a good bit of time in Peru and might welcome an opportunity to go back and see how much things have changed, and more than anything, to meet some of the folks that we have been working with and experience firsthand the kinds of projects that are underway in the communities. So that's my very warm welcome to all of you to join us on that day. I think we've come to the end of our official time, and I want to make sure that folks had a chance to ask any questions that they might have. Diane, I see your hand, but you're muted, dear.
Just one other question about the Boquerales. Is the Rockefeller Foundation or the Ford Foundation a possible grantor for those projects? I don't know if Rockefeller works in Peru or not, but I know the Ford Foundation is there. Has anyone ever gone to them or asked them?
I think historically we have not, but I definitely am always welcoming any sort of ideas regarding who to reach out to. So I will put them on my list and do some research. But yeah, I think you're right. Ford definitely has a presence in Peru, and Rockefeller would be a great one to look into. So thank you for those suggestions, Diane.
Okay.
And Diane, if you have a particular officer that you know of or have worked with, just let us know who that might be.
No, I'm too old. I knew all the old people there. Including my father. But he's long gone, and the people who were, working at my level back in those days are like me. They're in their 80s. So,
Well, Abe Lowenthal, of course, goes back to that era, and he and Jane have been supporters of the foundation.
good.
Maybe we can go back to Abe. That's a very good idea.
Yeah.
Anybody else with questions? I can't see the whole panoply of folks.
You can scroll down.
Well, I didn't see any other hands there, so let me just say again how grateful all of us are to all of you who have come to support this foundation and these communities. I think to me, the most satisfying thing is that all of the projects come from the communities themselves. And the funding that is there is for them to work with. Oh, I see a hand, Gloria. But you're muted, Gert.
At a board meeting, maybe 2 years ago, there was a discussion about evaluating the programs. The tendency is to count numbers. How many people were affected, how many, auxiliary people, etc. But at this point in the history of Chijnaya, it would be good to have a better kind of evaluation of the programs. And have you all had the opportunity to work in that area? I know it's very difficult, small for projects, lots of them, etc. But it's still important. There's, now the amount of money has gone up quite a bit.
Well, that's a very good point, Gloria. We had, you may have seen the study by Rivera, who wrote about the scholarship program and cataloged some of the changes there. And subsequent to that report, which was done about 5 years ago, we've been doing similar type of evaluation where you're really talking to students about what their experience has been and where their lives have gone. Gathering that kind of qualitative data is important. And then the second thing I'd add to that, which again is an ongoing project, is that David and the team, the ProDia team, have established a relationship with San Martin, I believe it is, the university in Lima, with regard to ongoing evaluation. And so there's been a lot of planning around that going forward. But that type of qualitative work, as you say, adds so much to our understanding of what's actually happening on the ground.
I'd like to mention regarding the Bofidales project in particular, monitoring and evaluation has been something that's very important and something we're working to not only put in our proposals to donors, but reports to donors as well. With that particular project, we did a baseline regarding the amount of native grasses because the whole intent is to improve that area. We have some very quantitative numbers that prove that, as well as water flows and other very important indicators to show how the project is having some success. So thanks for bringing that into the conversation, Gloria. I think that's always very important, not to look at just the money amounts, the beneficiary amounts, but other ways that we can measure success. David, I think you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
Yes, just I'd like to add that this year we are expecting having some students from the local university in Puno to go out to the field to do this some data and research about the impact of the especially of the rotating funds program, because in that program we've been working a lot and have a lot of projects that have been carried out. So we are just waiting the formal document is as a part of the commitment from the Universidad Nacional del Altiplano de Puno. So we hope that in the next I don't know, weeks that we can have the students are ready. It's part of the bureaucracy that we need to wait for the formal convenio to be signing out. But there is part of the plan of these years to have these students come and help us having this data on the field.
The other evaluation, of course, was with regard to the organization of a co-op, where we've really done some very extensive work about what the pluses and the minuses of that might be and what the meaning would be for some of those savings groups if they were to move toward a co-op. So that's been a very interesting process for us, and understanding what people's reservations are, what they like about the current structure, what the benefits and the drawbacks might be from moving in the cooperative direction. It's almost a case study of peasant communities and the challenges that exist there.
Interesting.
Well, friends, you've been you've asked some wonderful questions here and good probing questions. We thank you for that. And we certainly thank you for your generous use of your time and energy and continuing support for our efforts. So we'll look forward to seeing all of you in May. And if there are any questions in the interim and want to get back to Mackenzie or David or myself, please feel free to do so. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
yes.
Carry
I
on.
just
Go ahead, David.
Yes,
David?
just on behalf of our team, of Prodia team, I want to express our most sincere gratitude to each of you for taking the time to participate in this coffee chat and for your generous support of our projects. Your contributions are the engines that drives our work and allows to carry out the initiatives in the field that positively impact the rural communities that we serve. Thanks for your commitment and generosity, and we have been able to make dreams come true, improve lives, and build more hopeful future for many people in the rural areas where we work. Have a great day, and thank you again for attending this meeting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
everyone.
Yeah.
Have a
Bye-bye.
wonderful evening.
Thank you, David. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
everybody.
Yes, Mackenzie.
Thank you,
Susie,
Mackenzie.
Thank you,
and
everyone.
Susie.
Great to see you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yes.